686. Standard message and data rate supply. Yet another way to stay connected to the fan.
Welcome back to the Paxton Morning Show. There's Ben.
Hi.
There's Corey.
Hi.
There's me and Max. There's Sauce.
Hi.
It's a beautiful Monday morning.
Is it?
Yeah. I like rainy days.
Okay, real quick.
Go ahead, baby.
Max,
Hey.
that picture 100% is you.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, I know.
And it's no surprise that Max is falling out of a bush
Well played.
in that picture.
Yeah.
Everything tracks. He looks like me.
Everything tracks.
He's falling into a bush, and he's getting his ass whooped by the police.
Dude, I have to tell you, if somebody had sent me that picture and said, oh my God, have you seen Max? I would have called you immediately. Because I think that is you.
No, I saw that picture, and I was like, Max, run! Yeah. No! Yeah. Get away, Max!
What are you doing? Good point. Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, go. What's your Twitter handle?
At KFAN Fights.
That's right.
I
Check
need
it
to
out.
change that.
Check it out. You got to see it. Looks like him. Hey, Ben.
Yeah.
What's going on the television show today?
That's a good question. You know, you're I guess I find out at 8:40 when we have our call. I have not looked ahead. Shame on me.
Good question.
Because I have an idea for you.
What's that?
I think you should do a spotlight on,
Spotlight.
cremation.
Okay.
Fascinated by it.
Well, would you like to what are you fascinated by? It's this fire.
Yeah, I know. How hot do they have to be to burn a body?
This is getting real creepy all of a sudden, real fast.
Your demo's going to love this. Could you specifically break down the cremation of O.J. Simpson?
Don't you think?
3 to 4:30.
Dude, you knew that. That's exactly what brought that up to me.
Is he getting cremated?
He already got
He already
cremated.
got
got
cremated.
cremated?
And I thought about it. I've never known because I gotta believe a regular fire ain't gonna do the trick. How hot does that sumbitch have to be?
Well, it's a special oven.
Oh, really? I thought they did it in a microwave.
There he is, just rotating on there.
No, they put O.J. in an air fryer, Moss.
Oh, no, they hit defrost.
But you know what I mean? Like, how hot does that have to be?
It's got to be as hot as liquid hot magma.
You guys aren't.
No, it's got to be
taking
very,
this
very
seriously.
hot. I don't know the actual answers, but obviously
I don't
it's
either, man. I don't know.
a bazillion degrees.
I guess it doesn't matter, but I don't know. I find that to be an interesting thing.
1,400 to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Just
Wow.
think they had to make mistakes prior to. That's
Yeah.
just not hot enough.
Yeah, turn
Damn
it up a bit. Yeah, right.
Boy.
He's not done yet.
I'm not dead yet.
What a
What a film.
all-time comic bit.
What a film.
I feel happy.
So good.
Okay, I ruined the show. I'm sorry. I just found that fascinating, and now I'm done being fascinated by it. Don't worry about it. Do something else on the show today.
I think that's it. I don't know if we need a specialist. We went to Dr. Google and it gets real hot.
Yep.
And then all your body parts just disintegrate into a powder and they just sweep it into a canister and there you go.
Well, let's hold that thought, though, because so the white Bronco, a week or two ago, right, there was the story that was going to go up for auction.
Well, I thought it already did.
I saw somebody paid like $10,000 for a used O.J. Simpson credit card. Clearly not active, but still, just to say that you have his like bank card. Somebody paid like
Did you
10
keep
grand.
that in your wallet? Where do you do it?
It's kind of a cool flex. Like, do you want me to pay for it or O.J. to pay for
Pay for it.
But let's say, and this ain't going to happen, let's say in a hypothetical situation, the estate of O.J. Simpson said, we are willing to sell his ashes. What do you pay for O.J.'s cremated ashes in an urn?
I can't see me doing that.
$100?
I mean,
Can
No.
you do a DNA test on ashes? Like, first of all, I'd have to know that it's O.J.
Again,
that's a great
Simpson.
point.
Great
Yeah.
question as
Oh,
well.
good
I
point.
don't know.
Just somebody's cigar ashing out, and they're like, "Oh no, they're
Yeah,
OJ."
yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah, you got to put a lot of trust in the people doing the cremation, right? Because if they give you a pile of your loved one's ashes, there's, to your point, Ben, you just got to take them at their word.
Yeah, can I get a panini grade on this? Like,
Right. How do you know?
Interesting question.
Unless the Ashes are just going like, I totally did it.
Oh,
Wow.
well, then you
There's
know
got to
it's
be the
him.
juice.
Yeah.
No deathbed confession, but maybe Ashes confession. Should we do Fan 5? Because there's some things going on. Thanks, Chart.
It's time for Fan 5, brought to you by Builders and Remodelers.
Builders and Remodelers. All right. For the first time in franchise history, the Minnesota Timberwolves have completed a sweep.
let's go.
They defeated the Suns 122-116. And if you're a real optimist, outside of Ant just putting on God mode, that was not our cleanest game.
No.
A lot of flaws, a lot of just bad turnovers, bad shooting, weird defensive lapses. Rudy was a disaster. Right? Naz Reid didn't have a great game, and that's pretty rare. There was just not a lot of vibe going on. We didn't play our best. The refs were awful both ways. It was a very frustrating game to watch, but Ant flipped that switch in the second half, and he went straight Michael Jordan mode and basically said, get out of my way. He dunked on people. He's drilling threes. I think he hit like 7, and they won. So I just think it's another example of, we there were so many bad teams this year in the regular season that the Wolves would struggle with, but then
Yes.
find a way to come back and beat. And people would complain, going, how do you let the Hornets stick around so long? Well, it's like, this is why, though, those games mattered, is even though we had sometimes 15-point deficits to garbage NBA teams, they would find a way to come back and win. They did not play their best game last night, and you still beat future Hall of Famer Kevin Durant, possible future Hall of Famer and Brad Beal and Devin Booker. Those are all 3 perennial All-Stars, and you didn't flinch.
Yeah.
Even when Chris Finch got trucked.
Yeah.
Here's Mike Conley on the difference between last season and this season.
I think it's been the culture change. I think the belief started in the end of last season, going into training camp. Our first team meeting, we talked about what our goals are. It's not to come in and win a playoff game or a playoff series. It's to win a championship. And what are we willing to do to sacrifice to do that? And that started in Abu Dhabi. From that point on, I think we've been building those habits, building that culture, and all the guys have bought in. And you're seeing it collectively right now, and it's just really, really, really cool to kind of see that kind of all come together.
I forgot about the Abu Dhabi thing, by the way.
I did
I.
too.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
You know what I like about this team? Watching them when if an Ant struggles or whatever, do we have enough depth that Jaden will step up? Conley was shooting well yesterday. You still have Big Cat that can step in and get some points and do all the things and do all those special things until Ant gets going. Like we have guys all around the bench and the starting 5 that. Look, we don't have to have our number 1 guy be a freaking All-American every single game.
And you can almost identify one player from every game who had a disastrous game, but it didn't bring the ship down, right? Like Mike Conley was terrible in game 1 and we won by 25.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rudy was a train wreck last night. They still found a way to win, right? You've had, again, even Naz Reid didn't play very well. But whether it's like Alexander Walker drilling a bunch of threes a game or two ago, like it feels like when one member of this team just is off, then spin the wheel and somebody else has like a crazy good game and it balances out. It just works because of the depth of the team, and that's a credit to Tim Conley.
And 100% to your point, Core, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, we had Johnny Athletic on Saturday, and he was talking about, he was basically, in NBA terms, a player to be named later. He was just thrown in, and he comes off the bench, and he's just drilling threes. He plays really good defense. The swarming defense we have seen from this team is incredible. That sequence they had, Guardsy posted it last night, where
awesome.
Cat is all over the floor, and then they just make this, as you said, Core, 3 possible Hall of Fame players just look like they've never played basketball before. The defense of this team is awesome.
So why is Cat better now?
It's because he doesn't have to be the guy.
Yeah.
That happens in the NBA all the time, where it's somebody is the face of a franchise and you think they're going to be, like even Kevin Love here, right? Where you're like, oh, this is the guy. He's going to be an all-star forever. He's our centerpiece. Then like 3 or 4 years into his career, you're going, oh, God, he's got to be the second or third best player if you ever want to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's Cat. Cat is a perennial all-star. He's very, very, very good. He's not enough if he's your number one.
Is he Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ant is Jordan. Obviously, very different skill set, but I know what you mean. He is the Robin to Ant's Batman for sure.
But
can't be the other way around.
Cat killed him last night when they had nothing going.
Yeah.
He just smoked him.
And Cat being there is really important to Ant's ascension as well, because you, as a defense, you can't just fully focus on Anthony Edwards or Cat. You have to split your resources to both of them because they're both so good. And Cat's offensive skills, he's a 3-level scorer. He creates so much spacing for everybody on the floor offensively. And he's had his best year defensively too. He's been a really underrated defender for this team this year.
Well, that's what I was going to make the comment on, is that if we're off offensively, this team is not getting down on themselves. They understand that they win by defense. Just from my opinion, if they've changed anything, we've had some ascension from guys with roles and Ant's taken over the superstar status. All that stuff can be said as well, but that's not mutually exclusive to the defense that they believe in. Like, they now truly know that all those defensive drills that they worked on in practice, everything that Finch has been preaching, it actually works. And you're seeing them get transition points, how their offense can be better because of their defense. And you get a guy like Cat and Rudy with their length, and if they actually gave a crap and started moving their feet, and they're like, "Look, guys, you're impossible to get around. If you just move your feet and you contest shots with your long arms, we're a far better team." And to me, watching Cat, I mean, the dude hustles on defense now. Instead of just complaining, instead of just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna play this half court game where I just want to pop threes and just kind of like jog back." Like, this dude is bought in, and I think that's been a huge part of their success.
I'm not saying he went to a darkness retreat or something, but the annoying Cat traits, since he came back from this injury, they're non-existent.
Yeah.
Right? I don't see him throwing the baby tantrums or whining. He kind of just keeps to himself and plays well. I don't know if something changed mentally when he had to sit out for a month, but he seems like he's different the last month.
It's almost like the guy who pays no attention to his girlfriend until somebody else thinks she's hot. You know what I mean? Like,
then he starts buying her flowers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he didn't care to be a Timberwolf until Ant was great. I don't know. Weird.
I mean, again, think of how many times we just like, man, I know Cat's great, but God, he drives. I just can't.
Said that all the time.
I can't stand watching him because he's such a baby and he just whines and complains and
Y'all
flops
wanted
and,
to trade him.
Well, it's like watching Booker.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, and they're both Kentucky buddies.
Yeah.
It is really annoying, but I haven't seen that out of Cat since he got back from the injury, which is, again, a small sample size in the course of his, 7-ish year career or whatever it is.
It's not that smart. He hasn't been like that since he came back from his injury last year. I don't think he hasn't really been complaining or being that Cat at all this season.
Not as bad. It was there earlier
bad.
this year, but not as bad as the past.
Yeah.
Last year was unbearable.
It was good to.
He barely played last year. He missed 56 games.
Yeah, but when he played, it was like, can we get rid of him? Yeah. Especially when it was falling apart and it looked like we had just completely botched this Gobert trade. It was, please get Cat out of here as quickly as possible. Let's get some of these first round picks back. This ain't going to work. And, of course, a year later, all of us that said that are wrong because Tim Conley looks like a genius, which full circle is back to the Michael Penix picks, Ben. No one is going to do a bigger victory lap with a cigar than Terry Fontenot, I think is how you say his name, the GM of the Falcons, if it works.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, he's going to be talked about 20 years from now as this is the dumbest pick we've ever seen in our lives. The guy's fired. If it works, him and Tim Conley can have cigars and go, isn't it nice when you take a shot and you're right?
Yeah.
Right.
But we'll see.
Say Saucy real quick for
Only time will tell.
Well, no, I just really wanted to hear Ben's thoughts on the Penix thing.
Oh, that thing was, how was that like at US Bank Stadium? Because you were there and I was there. I mean, there was like almost 7,000 people on the floor there. It was fantastic.
That is a great tease. Let's answer that question when we come back. Can we, please?
I like your
let's do that.
tease, Hawk.
Oh, that's sweetie, buddy.
Hey, Sauce, your favorite network right now is talking about the Vikings. What is JJ McCarthy's ceiling with the Vikings?
Well, has he even bought a home yet?
And we're going to let you do comedy before Dave Matthews. Howard, your morning show back.
Join us for iHeartRadio Live with John Bon Jovi. Legendary. Celebrating Thank You, Good Night. The Bon Jovi Store. Presented by Hulu.
I wanted everybody.
Of course, the exclusive 4-part event. Thank You, Good Night, The Bon Jovi Story. Now streaming only on Hulu.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to help put $1,000 in your hand. Listen weekdays for your shot to win.
Common here, and so is spring, and that means deck building season. Don't let some company convince you to do it yourself. That'll cost you more money. Let the pros at BigDeck.com take your deck project from start to finish. You won't be disappointed. Visit BigDeck.com today. That's BigDeck.com and get your deck on.
Minnesota State Week is June 24th through 28th. Explore any of the 33 colleges and universities of Minnesota State and apply for free. Get a head start on your future with Minnesota State Week, June 24th through 28th. Learn more at minnstate.edu.
Hey, it's Corey Cove for OVO LASIK and Lens. And look, I've had LASIK and I'm thrilled with my results. But what if LASIK isn't the best option for you? Well, there's even more at OVO. Maybe you or someone you know, maybe a parent, is over 50 and struggling with reading glasses. Well, OVO has a solution called Restorative Lens Exchange, or RLE. Now, the LASIK consultation has always been free. It is. But for a limited time, OVO is waiving the $300 consultation fee for Restorative Lens Exchange. But you'll also get $500 off your LASIK or RLE procedure. Plus 24 months interest-free financing. So if you're like me and we're struggling with glasses, contacts, or reading glasses, well then call OVO LASIK and Lens for your free consultation to find out if LASIK or RLE is right for you. And don't forget, OVO LASIK and Lens has the legends of LASIK, Dr. Lobanoff and Dr. Whiting, along with over 1,600 5-star Google reviews and a best price guarantee. So you really can't get better than vision correction at OVO LASIK and Lens. Find them online at ovoi.com. That's OVOEYE.com.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams. Free to be everything you imagine, and then some. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Hey, it's Zach Halverson, and the NBA playoffs continue to roll through here. And, of course, the Wolves taking care of business this weekend, but there's so much more action coming up this week on the Sleeper Picks app. It is the perfect time to get that Sleeper Picks app. It's a super fun fantasy game where you can win real money. Just pick more or less on at least 2 of your favorite players' stats, whoever it is, whatever player it could be. Anthony Edwards, SGA, whoever it is. With Sleeper, there are tons of picks like 3-pointers, rebounds, steals, and blocks. They even have alternate picks too. If you feel better about your player scoring 25, 30 points, you can take that and take a bigger payout. And check this out. If you're new to Sleeper, they'll even match your first deposit up to $500. Just download the Sleeper app and use promo code KFAN. If you haven't explored the Sleeper app, it's worth a few minutes. They have scores, a sports-dedicated news feed, and even tools so you can do research for your Dynasty League. So make those fantasy sports moments even bigger. Download Sleeper today and unlock one of the fastest-growing fantasy sports apps in the world. Don't forget to use the code KFAN for up to $500 match in your first deposit. That's promo code KFAN. Must be at least 18 years old. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Mother's Day is Sunday, May 12th. Visit Shane Company for a timeless gift that will remind Mom of your love. We have the largest selection of fine jewelry in every price range. From on-trend necklaces with colorful gemstones to classic diamond earrings, every piece is expertly crafted and backed by our free lifetime warranty. Stop by our store or go to shaneco.com and let us help you find the perfect gift for Mom. A Mother's Day surprise she'll never forget.
Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
For over 7 decades, Twin Cities homeowners have trusted builders and remodelers to prices from the Twin Cities premier home improvement company since 1952. I love them, and so will you. Buildersandremodelers.com. Nobody does it better.
BetOnline is your #1 source for the NBA and NHL playoffs this season. Get all the playoff stats, news, and scores at your fingertips. With the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and futures for every round leading to the finals, BetOnline has you covered the entire time. Head to the website today to get in on all the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Bradshaw and Bryant seeking justice for the injured. Online at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Now back to the 651 Carpets Plus, home of the Next Day Install Studios. It's the Power Trip on the Fan.
You know, it's 8:26, and I am the Spoon Man. I am the Walrus. Ben Lieber for a couple more minutes here with us. Mike Mussman of Apple Valley Middle School.
What? Currently?
That checks out.
That was the name of your middle school in Owatonna?
Yes. It was
That was
really
kind of
weird.
confusing, wasn't it?
Yeah, they shipped me out. Yeah.
You were transferred.
I wasn't allowed to.
You were a hell of a Little League
junior
baseball
high.
player.
Yeah, and then you went to Lakeville High School in Owatonna?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want to hear something weird?
I don't want to talk about my Farmington days.
Oh, you know what? We got to do that. We got to pay off the tees. We got to pay off the tees.
Yeah, Ben, Michael Penix.
Yeah, what the hell happened there?
I don't know. I don't know what I honestly cannot even believe for the life like that people are going on and like strongly defending this. You have the Falcons go out and they get 2 wide receivers that they think are going to be starters. They go out and paid Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed. You're set on offense, but your defense needs a lot of work. Like you can't just go out there and just think that you're just going to. I mean, maybe Raheem thinks that he can just take his philosophies with what they have and transform it, much like what happened here with Flores. But why wouldn't you want the top tier defensive player at that spot? Why wouldn't you want Dallas Turner?
Yeah.
You act like he can't help you now.
You needed an edge. You should.
You needed an edge.
Yeah.
You needed a corner.
Yeah.
Go get one of those top guys. It's debatable if you're going to take one of the top corners over the top edge guy. But what are you doing looking out 3 to 4 years into the future with a 24-yard quarterback that is going to be, 27, 28 when he actually starts? And there's no guarantee that he's actually going to, be great. I mean, I think he's got a great skill set, but there's no guarantees there. Like, and think about the controversy that it creates within the locker room. You've got Kirk Cousins, who has been always scrapping and clawing to like prove his leadership and like build, be the guy on the team. Now it's gotten better the last couple of years with Kirk O'Chains and all this other stuff. But then you bring in this strong arm guy that he can wow. I'm sure he's going to wow somebody. All these, he's going to come into camp. He's going to make throws that Kirk can't make. And you're immediately going to get whispers of like, I'd rather have Penix play.
Yeah.
And he's going to be undermined the whole time.
Finds out when he's driving over to sign autographs for the draft party. That's when they called him and let him know when the pick was just about in.
Yeah.
And that, like you said, that locker room, it's got to be an absolute mess.
And more to your point, Ben, 2 things is, A, take Roma Dunze or Brock Bowers. Just take 2 offensive weapons and just have a fast break offense where you can outscore everybody because your defense is a disaster. B, you don't start your scouting after free agency. They knew that they loved Michael Penix. They'd seen him play at the bowl games. They were all on national TV. They probably had scouts there. Why do you not say, nobody will expect this. Let's take Penix at 8 and not sign Kirk Cousins. Why don't you just do that? It's one of the worst picks in draft history. You don't take a backup at pick 8.
No, you don't take a backup for multiple years at pick 8.
No.
And so what you're also saying is, well, what they expect, and I'm sure I haven't listened to their press conference or whatever, but I'm sure what they expect is we're ready to win now. Our next few draft picks in the first round are going to be in the late 20s, late 20s, hopefully. And in their mind, probably pick 32.
They'll probably lose a draft pick because of the
They probably lose because of the tampering thing. So they're thinking, well, if we look to build it for the future in the second or third year of Kirk Cousins' contract, well, we're not going to have a chance to get a top-tier quarterback, so take the top-tier quarterback now. But the problem is the guy's 24. He's got all the injury history, and he's going to sit there for 3 years before he even gets an opportunity to go out and play.
So can I ask you a question, Ben, to play devil's advocate, because I like advocating for the devil?
Mm-hmm.
You and I were on the same page, I think, on this, that if Kirk Cousins had been extended for a year or 2 here, we were for let's extend Cousins and draft the quarterback of the future. Right. So if Cousins had stayed here and the Vikings had drafted McCarthy at 11, how is that different? Is it just because it feels like Cousins got duped going to Atlanta, where he would have been part of the plan? Like the Vikings would have said, look, we love you, we're keeping you, but we're going to draft the future. Is that the only difference? Is that he probably got blindsided as opposed to just being told this is what's going to happen? Like, for example, like when the story came out that his agent said Kirk got blindsided, we didn't know this was happening. If the story had come out and if it was true, that look, when we signed with the Falcons, we knew this was a possibility because we know they like us now, but they're planning for the future, and we're totally cool with this. That may have been just PR, but if it was true, it's different. I would have been fine with Kirk here and McCarthy at 11, but it does feel different in Atlanta.
It feels different because I think he has to go in and win over the spot and be the alpha dog. I think that's a lot harder to do when nobody has played with Kirk Cousins. He has not proven himself in this offensive scheme. He has not proven himself with this team. To me, it's different with the Vikings that it just rolls over into what we've seen the last couple of years. I think some people would not have liked him to get a contract for like 2 or 3 years here. But I think when you see the quality of play and you see what he did in this system with KOC, he immediately picks up where he left off, when he comes back from injury. And that you've got a potential, at one point in time, he was an MVP candidate. He was playing at an all-pro level. Why wouldn't you want to take that? There's no guarantees there. And so I think that it doesn't feel like his team yet with Atlanta. With the Vikings, it was his team. He worked really hard to establish himself as the guy.
And it was the first team that he was the guy. I mean, like even in high school, he wasn't the guy. In college at MSU, he wasn't the guy.
Correct.
Obviously, he wasn't the guy in Washington either. Correct. It was the first team that he was the guy.
And I think, this is crazy to say, but like culturally, it's the Deep South in Atlanta is different. People are different down there. The team's going to feel different. Kirk's going to have to work really, really hard as milquetoast Kirk Cousins to win over that locker room. And Michael Penix comes in, might be a way easier sell for that locker room and be like, I'm behind Penix. Like, that's my guy, especially the young guys. You think Kirk being, 34, 35, and you think about Bijan, you think about the young guys that they have on offense. Who are they going to migrate towards easier? A guy that's more their age or a guy that's 35 years old?
By the way, think of how this draft fell for the Vikings if they had re-signed Kirk Cousins. You get the quarterback of the future in waiting, but still immediately add help to Cousins by getting Dallas Turner, right? It would have felt like, wow, this went perfectly. We got the all-pro quarterback, right? Top 10-ish when he's healthy here for the next couple. McCarthy can learn behind Cousins, but we still gave him a weapon on defense. Because obviously the offense is loaded, so it's, our defense got better. Flores is still sticking around. It would have felt amazing. People are still completely jacked because the quarterback of the future is pretty much now, please. As soon as possible.
But Ben, before you got to get out of here,
we can get him in there.
I want to play some audio on Kwesi talking about JJ's contract and the process right now.
The process is ongoing.
I'm sorry. Justin Jefferson.
I know, we're going to have to get used to that,
you're
right?
I thought
Justin
about that,
Jefferson.
on Justin Jefferson's contract.
The process is ongoing. We did say, hey, this a couple days, let's just, the draft's coming. Obviously, they have players that they represent. We have our process. And either way, whenever we sign him, we want Justin to have his whole week. That friend that has a birthday that takes the month. I think Justin would deserve his whole month if we signed a contract to celebrate it. So, we're excited to work towards it. We're going to keep going. You can't have all these plans when you talk about all these visions and not talk about the kid linchpin. So we're going to keep working towards that end goal.
A little surprised they haven't done it yet, or you think it's okay?
No, I actually think that's a pretty logical answer. I mean, if it hadn't been done yet, why rush it during this draft process? Let Dallas, let McCarthy, let them shine. Let's let this kind of like simmer down a little bit, and then pick up the conversation and really let JJ have his time to shine, because it's gonna. I'm fully confident it's going to happen, especially now with the way that the team is constructed. Like, where else would you want to go? You've got a young quarterback. You got one quarterback right now that we all think that in this system can be pretty good, and we know that JJ is going to be getting the ball. And then you get your franchise guy that they draft, and then you get defensive help as well. Like, this team is on the rise. Why would you turn down a contract to try to find the right situation with the right team, with the right amount of money? It just seems too complicated that you're going to have to thread that needle. The best team for him, the best situation is right now, right here with Minnesota Vikings. They want to get a deal done. And I think they've got the money to do it. They can get creative. I know we don't have a ton of cap space this year, but a lot of it can be pushed down the road.
Does the salary cap exist? Everybody signs everybody for whatever they want. It's crazy. The money that's getting just flung around in the NFL, I think the whole thing's a made-up bunch of garbage. A.J. Brown, though, 3 years, I think 32 or 33 a year, something like that. Every day that goes by that they don't sign Justin Jefferson and we get another member of the $30 million a year club for wide receivers.
Contract,
exactly. Justin Jefferson and his agent must be going, oh, A.J. Brown's making 32 a year. Okay, well, then our number just went up by $1.5 million a year. Right. So there is some incentive, I think, for the Vikings just to get this thing over with.
They got to get it done, get it over with. I mean, I don't really think that, yes, the benchmark has been raised as far as wide receiver contracts, but is it any surprise that we'd be going north of $32 million a year?
No.
Not really.
No. Yeah,
I mean,
we knew that going in.
We knew that going in, regardless of A.J. Brown, getting 32 a year, Amos St. Brown getting 30 a year. I mean, we knew that it was going to be north of that anyway.
Right, because Tyreek was already at 30.
Tyreek was already at 30.
We were worried about 40. Right? I think there's some people thinking that 35 to 40 is the range that Justin wants.
Yeah.
So I don't think the 32 changes much, I guess. I'm immediately contradicting what I just said, but I feel like that's always been their range is 35 plus.
Well, it's going to go back to what we talked about when we were like, well, do we sign Kirk? Do we not? It's going to come down to the terms of the contract. And right now, AJ's sitting at $84 million total guaranteed. That's the thing that we have to be looking for and looking out for when it comes to this contract structure is not so much the per year, the 32, north of 32, it's the fully guaranteed. Like, what piece is that? Is it 84? What percentage is that? Or is he looking for 75% guaranteed of his total contract? I mean, is he looking to get 90 million guaranteed? I'm sure that is probably more the sticking point versus the per year, salary.
Sounds good.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy boy.
Can't wait.
Yeah, buddy boy.
It's almost here, right, Hogs?
It's well, yeah. I mean,
hey, since we only have like another 60 seconds with you, I know at the draft party, I think it was Charge that asked KOC the question, like, what's the quarterback competition going to be like? And, of course, KOC is not going to answer that. But he tried. You got to at least ask. Where do you fall on that? Do you want to see Sam Darnold week one, or how quickly do you want to see J.J. McCarthy in this lineup?
Don't care. I honestly, I don't think that they're going to let him be in a situation where he feels like he's going to fail. So I think that they're going to approach this the right way. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I was even kind of talking about it last night. It's gonna hurt because in real time I'm gonna feel like I want to see McCarthy out there. But if in the long run we play the long game and we look back 10 years from now and we're like, yeah, remember when he sat out his rookie year? Oh yeah, that was actually really good for him.
Yeah, what if Darnold gets like the hot hand?
Right.
Okay.
And actually, what? You don't know. He played with the Jets in Carolina.
Let's talk. Let's just like flush that out a little bit. If he can play at a level that Nick Mullins did, without throwing the ball away.
Yeah.
I mean,
why would you take him out?
Why would you take him out? Dude, Mullins was throwing for 400 yards. He'd throw 17 interceptions.
Kid can sling it.
Kid can sling it.
Love it.
So given this offense and given what Darnold can do, if he can just give us 300 yards and no turnovers, you've got a hell of a quarterback there with this
Plus,
team.
He's got nothing to lose at this point.
Quickly,
so
Ben,
he can just throw it out.
Which quarterback is the odd man out? Is it Jaron Hall?
Oh,
Jaron
Hall for
sure.
You think he gets cut?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Practice squad.
Yeah, practice squad again.
Yeah.
Technically, do you think McCarthy's going to be the backup then, or Mullins is the backup? Or is that just yet to be determined as well?
I don't know. I mean, I could
Doesn't
see.
matter.
I could see he makes.
I could see
maybe a possibility. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter if he's not starting. It doesn't matter if he's the third quarterback or the second quarterback. I have faith that Darnold will be fine for a while. And if JJ's got to sit for a year, I really am fine with that.
I think, Sauce, you and I are on the same page, right? Week 1?
Start him as quickly as possible.
Yeah, let's go, week 1.
But
Let's do it.
I have an answer for that from Kevin Seifert's article from ESPN. He said the Vikings are extremely wary about rushing J.J. McCarthy onto the field, as they've done studies on the risks of exposing quarterbacks before they're ready. They've done studies on the risks of exposing quarterbacks. Coach O'Connell has created a daily developmental plan that will require McCarthy to reach a series of benchmarks before they make any decision on him being quarterback 1.
Okay. Let's see what happens. Give it to him.
There's no reason you don't have to roll him out right off the bat.
Yeah, unless he's head and shoulders above.
Yeah,
well, you just
he
don't,
may be the best quarterback.
Right,
yeah,
for sure.
But you're honestly going to find out, just how smart he is and how fast he can learn that offense. And, and that playbook is pretty thick from KOC. So,
well, maybe PA will ask him when he's on with him in an hour and a half.
Yeah! Oh, sweet.
You know what he's going to ask him?
No.
Touch it.
What?
He normally has Chris Finch on. Is Chris Finch going to join the show this week?
Touch it.
From the ER?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Man, that sucks for Finch.
Yeah, that's too bad, man. Do you want to do some headlines? Because I got stuff for you, too.
Let's do headlines. Brought to you by our friends at Wolf River Electric. You can go solar, and if you want to get turned on.
Yeah, I do.
From like an electrical power standpoint, right? This is solar power.
Turn me on anyway.
Solar power. Get turned on by Wolf River Electric.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with this because, Chris, you mentioned this off the air, this show. A woman who thinks the stalker character on Netflix's Baby Reindeer is based on her and is considering suing the show's creator for defamation.
Yeah, that would play perfectly into that character.
Yep.
Let me tell you, man. Saucy saw it, 4 episodes?
4 of them, yeah.
I saw 5.
How many are there?
There are 7. They're half hours, except for one that's a little longer. It's completely original. It's based on a true story. It's wonderfully acted all the way around. It's the most bothersome thing I've seen in a very long time. Not in the way like a Saw movie is bothersome, but
because I'm not watching it if it's like Saw.
No, it's
so
not like that.
Bothersome in what way?
It's not gruesome, but it's just like hand-wringing?
First of all, you have to hide your eyes because it's so uncomfortable to watch somebody continue to make bad decisions. I'll say it like that. That's number one.
Huge warning before one of the episodes.
And then,
how can you guys tell us, though, without giving it away? Like, what kind of level of discomfort is it? I don't understand. If it's not like Saw, it's not torture.
You see a man being taken advantage of.
Right.
In a very bad way.
In a very bad way.
By a very bad man.
For about 35 minutes.
But again, I don't want to encourage. I don't want to dissuade you from seeing it. It is a great show. It's wonderfully acted.
Is it a prison scene? What are we working with?
Well, no, but yes. If you know what. Okay.
Yeah.
You know. All right. That's
Okay.
that's what we're talking. Well, sort of. But I don't want to ruin it for you. I just trust me. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. It has to be based on a true story because the story is so ridiculous. You have to. It's wonderfully
creepy.
acted.
It's the
main character is stalked by a lady. He continues to do the wrong thing because he can't help but try to be nice to people.
Yeah.
And
Then
you realize as you learn more and more about this guy that he has had a terrible life.
Yeah, it's thrilling. It's the woman that is the stalker is a wonderful actor.
Give her every award.
There's multiple moments where you're like, oh my God.
I see it come up in the queue every time when they go on Netflix.
It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's not easy to watch. It's a brilliant show. And I've got 2 episodes to go, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the finale of Shogun coming
Baby
up
Reindeer
tomorrow
is what
night.
it's called, by the way. Yeah, I know.
I know.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah.
So good, even though I got to read my TV.
Baby Reindeer, again, is the show. Don't watch it with kids.
The opposite of Baby Reindeer is a show called NCIS Hawaii, which has been canceled after 3 seasons.
Dude, but you know what? That show did some things that were groundbreaking in television. I think it'll go down in history as one of those shows that was underappreciated, much in the way that MASH was.
Sounds more like they just broke television.
No, Chris is right. Most movie or TV critics definitely put NCIS Hawaii and MASH in the same sentence.
Yeah, well, people who know their stuff
just did.
Yeah.
He just loves it.
Yeah, it's great. I love all the NCISs because I don't know what's going on in the IS until I hear the NC talk about it. what I'm saying?
Yeah, what he said, man.
Right.
Oh, let's just try. Sauce, what does NCIS stand for?
National Criminal Investigation System.
A Delta flight had to circle back and land at JFK in New York on Friday after one of its emergency slides fell off.
See, now what if that happened on the Doomsday plane?
Right.
Wouldn't you be nervous?
Yes.
Callback.
It's a callback.
Yeah. Man, that sucks.
How about
So it
this?
just fell off. Was it already like deployed? Did
Good
they
question. Don't know.
Inflated, and all of a sudden it's just flapping in the wind. What
Not
happened
sure.
there?
How about this one? Speaking of airlines, this is like Y2K all over again. American Airlines keeps mistaking a 101-year-old woman for a baby because she was born in 1922, but their computer system only knows 2022.
Yeah. That's
Y2K
tough.
all over again.
That's tough.
I'm surprised that they don't have technology that can quickly compute that.
You want to be surprised? Listen to this. I have traveled all over the world in the last, I got my passport in 2000, the newest one in 2016. And I've been to London, Ireland, now Canada. I've been to Mexico. I've been everywhere. My name is misspelled on my passport.
Get out of here.
Really?
Never noticed it. Never noticed it until I was in Canada. And by the way, I noticed it. The computer didn't. I am Christopher on my passport.
Really?
There's no H. I can't believe nobody's caught it.
How do we get that to catch on and just start calling him Christopher?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah. How are you, Christopher?
Kristaps Porzingis.
See?
Porzingis.
Porzingis.
Yeah, my middle name it's the same thing on
Yeah,
mine.
nobody cares.
Jay.
No, I know. Yeah, Michael J.
No, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's
I'm just
completely
being funny.
wrong.
Is it really?
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be Frederick, and it's Frederick.
Huh.
There's no E in between the Fred and the Rick.
And normally, man, they catch things like that and they don't like it.
And especially when you're trying to get back into the country.
Yes.
That's when it's normally happening.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Canadian government doesn't care, and they were just like, let's just let Christopher back into the U.S.
Let him in.
We
He
don't
doesn't
need any
belong
Christophers here in Canada.
Him out.
Corey, I do want to say this, by the way, and I'm sorry if I already mentioned this. TSA PreCheck, Global Entry, and Clear. I don't care how long it takes you and how much it costs you. Get all three. If you're going to travel ever,
Correct.
Get all three. When I was coming back from Canada, I held my my Global Entry card up against this machine. It looked at my face. When I got to the guy who asked you questions about coming back into the country, he just said, "Did you bring anything?" And I go, "No." He goes, "Okay, have a good day."
Yep.
That was it. There was no line. There was nothing. It took me a total of 1 minute to get back into our country.
It's
Not
the
a
best.
bad gig being Christopher.
It's the best.
Everything's
Well done,
coming up
Christopher.
Only us Christophers.
Pretty good deal. That is
Cool, man.
A pocket watch owned by the richest passenger on the Titanic just sold for a record $1.46 million. How about this? The auction house only expecting $150,000 for it, and it went for almost 10 times that.
Wow.
I don't know why people would care that much, but I guess there's just a lot of Titanic fans, right?
And I would guess it's probably a very rare watch as well.
Yeah.
Maybe, but maybe that's why they thought it was going to be worth $150,000.
Right.
I wonder why it went ballistic and went to almost 1.5.
Yeah. As a poor hillbilly from Indiana, I've never understood people buying really, really expensive watches, but I can see it if you're buying it as an investment, I guess.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
2 men in Vermont are... This is what a weird sentence this is. 2 men in Vermont are facing charges after fighting over some loose pigs that neither of them owned.
Fighting over loose pigs.
Chris has fought over a lot of loose pigs.
Oh, yeah. You mean Christopher?
Dude, I got nothing to top that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a great line. There's nothing to top that. You're right, I have.
You're sitting around in Union City, Indiana. You want to go to the big city? Why, you want to go chase some loose pigs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Why are you fighting over that loose pig? Do you see anything else around?
Right. Did that loose pig's dad just punch you?
Yep.
Hey, that's my loose pig. You don't own her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. CNN did a big story about how Gen Z
I know
is
her.
obsessed with peelable candy.
Oh,
What
yeah.
the hell
Peelable candy.
is peelable candy?
No
that-
idea.
Is that like things you, I don't know. You know what?
The
Like
only-
fruit by the slice or whatever?
Well,
you know?
maybe. The only peelable candy I can think of are those dots that would come on those long white strips
Yeah.
of paper.
Correct.
Which
Yeah.
look like
And
acid.
you'd peel
I
them
was just
off.
going to say, isn't that
What the hell is peel? I guess
No
this is a
idea.
Google search. What the hell is peelable candy?
It looks like it's the cuties, maybe.
Cuties.
Peelable
That doesn't help me
candy.
either.
Like the man, or what are those called? The oranges, but they're not oranges.
Oh,
tangerines?
Yeah. No, these are peelers. I think it's a different thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, man. But maybe it's not that different thing. Maybe it's the same thing. I have no idea.
Well, so based on a quick Google search, it looks like there are tiny little candies shaped like fruits that you can peel the top layer
That's
of.
what he's talking about. So I guess you're right there.
I don't get this at all.
I've never seen these in my life.
Mango peelable gummy.
And since okay, this is kind of the same vein, Corey. Talking about being old and different generations and stuff like that. There's a podcast that I would encourage you guys to give it a listen to. That's kind of interesting. It's called "Who Killed the Video Star?" The Story of MTV.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, you have?
Yep.
Have you listened to it?
I think it's a Netflix thing similar to there's a Netflix thing very similar to it.
Okay, I'm not sure if it's the same thing. But
is this about Pittman?
He's in it. He's
Yeah.
part of it. But it takes from the very first episode, the very first day, to the very last day of its relevance, which they kind of put at the end of TRL.
Yeah.
Which for your generation, that was a big deal,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
TRL was huge.
Huge.
Listen to this, and I'm sorry if this is kind of confusing, and it might not work in the context of not hearing all the podcasts because I listened to all of it in like 2 days. I thought it was fascinating. But listen to this lady go through what it's like to be our age and talk to somebody who has never turned the channel on television.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
When I sit down with a person who's, say, under 25, it's like going into a time machine and you are Father Cricket. And it's not even like back when we used to have music videos. It's like, no, go further. Back when there was no social media, go farther. And so then you start to paint yourself into a corner of like, what even am I talking about? Like, why am I even talking to this young person who's like, a VJ? Okay, a VJ is someone who on TV. Oh, TV. Okay, hold on. A channel. Like, my kids don't know what a channel is. Like, change the channel? What do you mean change? What channel? TV. I mean, we have a TV monitor, but we all watch TV mostly on our laptops. TV, I mean, it's just the size of a screen.
I mean,
Yeah.
the change in 30 years has been, I mean, you could say that in a lot of ways about a lot of generations. I don't think it's ever been this giant, right? Has it? Has it ever been this enormous?
Well, the tech has just obviously changed the culture exponentially, and it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. But I've been telling you guys for the last couple of years, my girls have no concept of channel surfing or network TV, not at all. They don't get it. They don't participate in it. They've never sat on the couch and, quote, channel surfed in their life because everything's on demand. So they're absolutely in this conversation. They don't understand that at all. And more importantly, I think to Chris's point, they have zero interest in learning. That's the ancient past.
I was the remote control for my dad.
Yeah,
Same.
Me too. Yeah.
Channel surfing was the best. Now I hate it, but back in the day, it was the best. Find something fun. Why do you think we've all seen Shawshank 1,000 times? Because we would channel surf until we found Shawshank and said, hey, it's on TNT
We'll
again. Why don't we watch it again? Paul, your hands up.
PA and Nordo are at TCO. Mike and Nori will be on at 9. Bursich joins for an hour. Ryan Grigson, and then both Dallas Turner and JJ McCarthy will be on at 10:30 and 11.
Let's do it then. Let's get out of here. Have fun trip, Zacho. Bye-bye.
Thanks, babe.
Babe.
Everybody have a wonderful day.
You too, Abadabba.
KFAN Total Traffic.
From the Quick Trip Traffic Center, here's a look at the road. Still an accident 56 at Rickard Avenue and State Road 37 northbound. A big backup, Epler to 465 into that single lane construction. The crash in Speedway, Crawfordsville at Cunningham, that one is still active. 69 southbound, still a tight spot, 96th Street to 82nd, but the earlier accident there has cleared. And the crash on 70 westbound near County Road 525E, that one also out of the way. That's traffic on the Fan. Traffic is sponsored by Hamlin University.
Get the education you need to succeed at